Exclamation point.
Now it's gonna get a little dark there, so. These are dull.
Of course, with the good, there's also the bad. When Angie and Brent were in Chicago in July for a vacation, Angie had a seizure once in the middle of the night. She couldn't breathe very well. She couldn't talk because she said her tongue felt like it was too big for her mouth. She was drooling, and for a short period of time, her right side went numb. Luckily, they were at her stepsister's house, and they rushed her to the hospital. Alexian Brothers. It was there that they said she did not have a stroke, but she had a seizure, and it was caused by a brain tumor near the speech center of her brain. When they got back home to Texas, she had another few tests and found the tumor to be malignant. So they scheduled her for surgery about 2 weeks later. The day after surgery, there were 13 of us at the hospital waiting for word from the neurosurgeon. The surgery was performed while she was awake so that they would know if what they were doing affected her speech. They were only able to get about 85% of the tumor excised, but they got the parts that were active. What was left were inactive cells, which is good news. She gets MRIs every few months now to keep an eye on it. No chemo or radiation was to be given at this time. When it's all over and she's back in the ICU, we all go to see her, separately of course. She was wide awake and sitting up in bed, though she was still in a considerable amount of pain. The surgery was on a Monday, and she went home on a Thursday. Exclamation point. Modern medicine.
Okay, so that is sad. That's kind of terrible, yeah. So that's enough, right?
While all this was going on with Angie, Angie's mother-in-law Jill started developing some very strange.
Angie's mother-in-law. This would be like my mom writing a letter talking about Jess's mom. Like no one.
Right. Yeah. They don't know who it is. Yeah. Jill started developing some very strange behavior and personality changes. Jill had lymphoma over 5 years ago, and she's been clean since then. Because of her strange behavior, Brent and Angie did not think she should be left alone, so they brought her back to their house so they could keep an eye on her. When they finally got an appointment with their doctor, Angie suggested they do an MRI because something was very wrong upstairs. And there was. Her lymphoma was back in her brain. Exclamation point. Now during all this, Angie had 6 seizures in 5 weeks due to stress. Jill's neurologist was very optimistic though, and we decided to start her on a chemo regimen, a very aggressive one. She would go through 4 rounds of chemo where she would be in the hospital for a week so that they could give her the chemo for 3 straight days, and the rest of the time in the hospital was to monitor her reaction to it. Then she would be released from the hospital and be sent home for 3 weeks, and then back to the hospital again. Her first round of chemo was great. A lot of her strange behavior was gone, so everybody was happy. Everyone was happy. Her second round of chemo went off without a hitch until she got home. She started developing a fever, could barely walk, and her heart was racing. Eventually, they took her to the emergency room and stayed with her all day, but went home in the evening to get some rest. The next day, the hospital called Brent to tell them that Jill's heart had been stopping, and each time they revived her. They asked Brent if he wanted them to keep doing that, and Brent said no.
It's just like it's a kick in the gut here.
And Brent said no, let her go. So on Wednesday, November 30th, she passed away, one day before the 4th anniversary of her husband's suicide in 2002. It was unexpected and tragic. She will be missed terribly. She was a wonderful, vibrant, and fun-loving woman who loved Angie as if she was her own daughter. Well, sorry to end with a sad story, but we all pray that 2017 will bring an end to all the sadness and problems we're all facing, and have ourselves a wonderful new year. We wish the same for all of you too. All of our love. Donna and Howard, that is terrible. Jesus.